always downplaying, but he puts in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark where humor's intended, adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly, Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim after dark where humor's intended, adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly, Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim after dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Where Warhammer 40k meets Snark, Charles the host, always downplaying, but he puts in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark where humor's intended, adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly, Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim after dark where humor's intended, adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly, Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim after dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Sean, Danny, Val, and Dickie too, tune in for the humor's in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark where humor's intended, adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly, Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim after dark where humor's intended, adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly, Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim after dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Sean, Danny, Val, and Dickie too, tune in for the humor's in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark where humor's intended, adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly, Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim after dark where humor's intended, adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly, Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim after dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Sean, Danny, Val, and Dickie too, tune in for the humor's in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark where humor's intended, adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly, Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim after dark where humor's intended, adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly, Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim after dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Sean, Danny, Val, and Dickie too, tune in for the humor's in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark where humor's intended, adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly, Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim after dark where humor's intended, adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly, Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim after dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Sean, Danny, Val, and Dickie too, tune in for the humor's in the work, never swaying. Grim after dark where humor's intended, adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cunning mark, always on the fly, Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Danny's competitive, always on the grind, while Val's humor sharp, leaving no one behind. Ted Priest Dickie, the light-hearted one, but jokes aside, he's always having fun. Grim After Dark, where humor's intended. Adult jokes and game shows never relented. Danny's got a cutting mark, always on the fly. Val's tongue-in-cheek while Dickie takes the pie. Grim After Dark, the podcast that never sleeps, making fun of the internet with laughter that creeps. Sean, Danny, Val, and Dickie too. Tune in for the humor in the Warhammer 40K crew.
It does melt Mike Brandt.
Hosted by John Quennell, Danny McDevitt, Val Heffelfinger. I'm Dickie, and it's Grim After Dark.
Welcome to Grim After Dark, Warhammer's only late night show for some reason. My name is John, and I'm here to misinform and entertain as we talk about the goings on over the last week in the world of Games Workshop. This week, we talk about the controversy of Frontline Gaming's premier weekend retreat, the Cherokee Open. We scrape the barrel of the internet as we go around the net and check our panel's pricing knowledge as we delve into some eBay prices redacted. But first, if you enjoy what you're listening to or what you're seeing, you can support us by liking or subscribing wherever it will let you. Throw a couple of dollars our way through YouTube or Patreon, and you can join in on our March Madness painting challenge, where I get frustrated models being old enough to drink that I'm trying to assemble. Before we go on, let's meet the team who make it all possible. First up, he's the co-host with the co-most, all the way from Moscow, Idaho. He puts the T into RTT. He's our competitive champion and casual runner-up. Our very own best in show, Daniel J. McDevitt Jr. Esquire.
Wow, that was high
Thank
praise.
you, John. I appreciate the additions to my title.
That's fair, yeah. He's the man behind the curtain. He puts the K in Canada. It's superstar producer, Tech Priest Dickie.
You know, there's no K in Canada, right? I just want to make sure you know that.
There's some special K in Canada. I know
There is.
that.
I say you put the ketamine in Canada, and that's us demonetized for the week.
Yep.
Oh,
Who needed money anyway?
yeah, because this is paying our bills.
I was talking about the cereal, John.
The special ketamine,
Jeez
yeah.
Louise.
That's what it's going on there. Our comment of the week this week is a very pro Dickie stance, which I think is a good one to go on here.
Oh.
Joel Atkins, serial commenter, coming in saying, love Dickie's cliff notes on the infinite and the divine. Need him to do a Dickie lore a la Taylor. So
I don't even remember what I did. What did I say? Do you remember?
you said you started it and you kind of got bored and you stopped reading, and then me and Danny yelled at you about it, and then you described the first chapter.
It's just the Exodites is all I remember.
Yeah,
It's literally the Exodites. That's the only part.
And then you told us about your learning disability, and we weren't mad at you anymore.
Oh,
Because special K.
reading's hard. Yeah.
That's why they call him that.
But in that note, we're gonna get some Dick lore right now.
Dick lore?
Dick lore. Dickie, how would you describe the Horus Heresy?
Oh man. Wow, Dick lore. Okay, this is a thing. So basically what happens is Horus gets stabbed by a dirty knife, and then he gets all sick and he dies, and then I guess he comes back because
What a baby.
Yeah, like a dirty butter knife killed him.
Little
Dies
dumbass.
from a knife wound in
That's the
like the
worst.
40th millennium. Like, come on. Or the 30th millennium, I guess, in this case, right?
Yeah. I don't know, was it the 20th then or was it the 30th then?
It was the 30th.
Who cares?
Strong start.
Yeah. So he died. A dirty butter knife takes Horus out. He goes to some planet. They do a weird ooga booga ritual. He comes back, but he comes back a little tainted, a little different. All right.
I can't
And then-
believe it's not Horus.
Homeopathic medicine, not friendly.
Yeah. No. So then he decides to fight against Daddy, which happens. I mean, we've all been there, right? Everyone's had that fight with Dad. So he fights with Dad, and he gets some of his brothers to join his side. The most depraved and grumpy, and also strategically minded, I guess.
Impossible. Dorn remained loyal that whole time.
Maybe, I don't know. So then once all that went down, I guess the Emperor and Sanguinius flew up to the ship, and Horus killed Sanguinius because he's a little bitch. And then Emperor and
Oh,
Horus battled
just to
to
pause
the
you there,
death.
Dickie. When you
Yep.
called them a little bitch, are you
Yep.
referring to Sanguinius or Horus?
I think Sanguinius. I'm not down with Sanguinius. I think he was a little bitch. Yeah. I'm gonna get a lot of hate. I'm gonna get a lot of hate from that, aren't I?
Yeah, you just ruined our entire fan
yeah.
base against you.
After
Everybody likes
Wow.
Blood Angels except for you, Dickie.
Wow,
After Sanguinius died,
Dickie
I was like, after Sanguinius died, the Blood Angels suffered from the black bitchiness, and they just
I read it and I squirted out a tear, John.
yeah. Grand Canyon moment.
Yeah,
Grand Canyon moment. So then Emperor sits on his throne of death and sits there and gets fed psychers, and Horus is dead. He's not coming back. And yeah, that's it. That's Horus Heresy. Bang, bang, boom, done.
Perfect.
Yep.
See, Taylor, you can do it in less than 3 minutes without getting distracted. That's a callback from long ago.
I loved it. Remember when we put a clock and he got so distracted because the clock was ticking? He was like,
I just remember a long time ago, Seth from Signals of the Frontline said he was going to have Taylor on to Signals to talk about the Horus Heresy.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
And I was like, good luck. I love the artist formerly known as Taylor. He's a fantastic person, no complaints, but can get derailed a little bit. And then the best thing about it was on Signals, they added a clock as well, which meant he no longer focused on summarizing the heresy, but on the impending doom of the clock.
Amazing.
I loved it so much.
Got to find that episode, but that does mean going back through several Signals episodes.
There's a lot, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Whew. Anyway, let's talk about some controversy.
What?
I mean, we don't have to do the bumper. It's fine. I
like the air horns.
Is there a controversy bumper, or did you want this one?
I almost timed out really well. It was good.
All out.
It's very close. Yeah.
Guys, in researching this, apart from the show, by the way, I did find out that on Frontline Gaming's official website, they do refer to the Cherokee Open not as a tournament or a GT,
really,
or a major, but a weekend retreat.
Oh, that's nice.
Which I think.
Do you think that's for tax purposes?
I think that's what living in Puerto Rico is that is a foreign nation and absolutely not a territory of the United States.
Shots fired. Okay.
No, they have some different rules there, though. Sort of. But yeah, this weekend, I think the third Cherokee Open we're at now. Second, third, somewhere along those yeah,
ways.
I think so. I think that sounds right.
We had a little bit of a strange situation where we had a top 8 cutoff where 7 of the players had a 6-0 record. One of the players had a 5-1 record. And then a 6-0 player didn't actually make the top cut. Which seems bizarre. But Dickie, why don't you give us kind of the high level Horus Heresy level overview of what went down?
All right. So he cheated a bit. They decided that he can't play.
Some light cheating,
some light
if you will.
This is supposed to be quick and dirty, right? So he cheated a bit, maybe a couple games. The judges say, please don't cheat or we're going to kick you out. And he kept cheating.
The manners of the manners of the judges of these events, by the way. I know a couple listen. You guys are so polite.
The lights. He didn't stop cheating, so they had to go, okay, well, you're done. And then apparently after the event, he just stood around complaining about how he wasn't allowed to cheat anymore in the games.
Crazy. It's a bold strategy, Colin.
Yeah. Didn't work out. Didn't pan out for him.
Yeah. Danny, what's your take on this? Because I think for me, and I hope pretty soon Frontline will kind of release what their take on it. But there was a couple of key mistakes that were made. The first is when someone who's known to have a lax knowledge of the rules, shall we say, gets caught cheating, then we're not just instantly like, please leave.
I think he has excellent knowledge of the rules, by the way.
That's checkpoint 1. Checkpoint 2 is when you officially disqualify him from the event, probably don't let him stay in the hall to heckle the people that are there. I'm aware, not a tournament, but a weekend retreat. But Danny, what's your take on this?
Well, I mean, how can you really kick somebody out of a weekend retreat, John? I mean, they paid good money to be there, and they want to get the experience, and I think that's okay. I don't begrudge them that, even if they're kind of a nasty little cheater.
I
And I mean,
too,
so little.
I would be furious if I was kicked out and I didn't get to experience the top 8 spa day,
Yeah,
which is the spa afternoon is like a key part of the Cherokee
it
Open
is.
lore.
Oh,
It's
sounds great.
definitely the aromatherapy, John, is just fantastic. Those jerseys are just some of the best smelling sports equipment you've ever seen in your life.
Day 2, they're rough.
Yeah.
I remember a long time ago I asked one of the Art of War guys because I saw they were
Yeah.
like one of the first teams that came around in like the esports style jersey like at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, are you wearing that for 3 days? How are you not like honking at this point? And he was like, I have more than one. I'm like, oh, that never even crossed my mind. And I think that's why I'm not a top level player, because I can't think outside the box like that.
Okay.
Yeah, John, that's probably right.
That's the only reason is my approach to wardrobe choices. Otherwise, I'd be kicked out of the top 8 like that.
For sure. You could, William Abilese your way into, a lot of high placing events if you just think outside the box a little bit more.
And the rule set. But then so we heard sort of the judge's response and Frontline's response, and in the end, the correct decision was made to not allow him this person to progress. What is your take on the response on this here?
This person is banned in the state of Texas from playing in their tournaments.
Huh. The whole of Texas.
I'm sorry. How bad do you have to be not allowed to play in Texas?
John, that's what I'm saying. Like, that just reinforces the point 110%. Like, it was only a matter of time before this. I mean, it's just constant. It's every time this guy comes to an event, like he's a real gem, John, a real rascal. We're happy that he's part of the community, just not part of any tournaments.
I, for one, I'm super happy that Danny read the message I sent him before this, where I was like, hey, I want to talk about this, but maybe let's not be overly critical about it and kind of still try to be, not soul crushingly mean.
Right.
But I appreciate you following along with that.
I'm doing my best, John. I mean, the guy is a rascal. Like, I think we can all agree.
It's like the highest legal insult you could give someone is they're a rascal.
Just a real rapscallion, John.
It's like a 2 steps up from scamp.
Yeah, you've seen a scamp. This guy might even be a tramp, John.
Whoa, easy, Danny, relax. Holy moly!
This is
that. Wait, hold on. I need to clarify this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tramp, not in a sexual manner. Not what I'm talking about. A tramp in the oldie time homeless person type.
It can be both.
A scoundrel.
Oh wow!
This is, correct me if I'm wrong here, and I'm sure I am, but the first sort of high profile event where we've had someone banned from entering the top 8 based on these kinds of things. Mm-hmm. Is this sort of like a blip? Is this something you expect to see happen more the more 40K kind of grows in popularity and the more these events come?
I think it's hard to get a reputation for yourself where they will ban you from frontline events in general. So
we've tried.
I think this is more people. Yeah, give it a whirl, see what you can do. See what that point is, get back to us. But no, for real though, like, this is just kind of people getting tired of this same kind of bad actor doing this stuff over and over again. And I hope it's kind of some kind of final judgment about this, and we don't end up having to deal with this on the periphery of the tournament circuit, because this person can't seem to control themselves from playing a fair game of Warhammer.
What we really need is a streaming show like the People's Court, where we can just put Reese from Frontline Gaming in a judge outfit, because I feel he would be down with just wearing a judge outfit, and have him rule over stuff over a game system I don't think he plays anymore.
I think this is a great show idea, to be honest with you.
Really good, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That'd be
could
a
make
great.
it
It would be a
set.
great bit, actually.
Yeah. We're gonna
I'm gonna think of a good name for this, but I'm sure I can come up with a good one.
Yeah.
yeah, awesome. So that's going to be a judge segment because now, well, soon, Danny, you're pretty soon not going to be in law school in a positive way. So I can't call you not a lawyer, make fun of you for being a lawyer because you won't be able to say I'm not one anymore. So I'm just going to move that on to a judge.
Okay.
And because you
Great.
always have to have something that you're not actually, as I
Just keep upping it up there. I see.
upping it up. Just please don't get promoted a whole bunch because there's only so many levels I can go.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got to get appointed first.
Yeah. Well,
That's very unlikely.
I'm appointing.
I'm not a fair person.
I'm appointing some shitty memes. Let's go around the net.
Oh, shh.
Wrong bumper, Dickie.
You said around the net.
I know. I was just giving you crap. Let's get right
Come on,
one there.
man, it's so stressful.
It is.
Pressing
Danny-
the button?
There's so many buttons.
You're a tech priest.
I know.
Don't know what to do. Well, you only have to make it.
No, I'm sorry. You just play one on this podcast.
What did you guys call me at the old world? Skink priest, Dickie?
Yeah, skink priest,
Yeah.
Dickie.
Yeah, I'm probably more of a skink
not even a
priest than
slan.
No.
No.
Come on, no.
Well, maybe
I
if you
am
called him a
just-
slan, he'd be more effective on this show.
No, he's very effective on the show.
Yeah. Well, more effective than the two of us, which you'll find out in August. But moving on, Danny, you sent this to me. This beautiful, beautiful thing.
God.
What are we looking at?
Why did you send that to him?
This is a mouse pad depicting one of the most famous Necrons, Crazy in the Infinite, just doing his thing. And he's there to support your wrists with his necrodermis, heaving soft necrodermis.
Necrodouble.
Pendulous
yeah, you'll-
boobs.
Yeah, they gave him robot boobs.
Why does he have robot boobs?
Well,
Is it-
because it's just they took a picture of him and like the way that it gets stretched out over the fabric makes it look this way.
Huh.
Or I don't know, maybe this is someone's fan drawing.
It's
okay.
perfect. My question for you guys is, without using Sisters of Battle characters, what would be a other character that would fit the Titty Mouse Mat?
Titty mouse mat.
Inquisitor Greyfax.
Oh, without using women, that's an easy one there.
A Carnifex.
Or like another Tyranid thing where it has a couple biomorphs.
Tyrannofax, yeah.
I was thinking the Haru specs would be pretty funny too.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Because that
Mikhail
gave you
coming
now-
in with a great unclean one or a sassy.
Oh,
thing.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. I like that.
Yeah, you
Obviously, the keeper is like the throwaway, right?
Yeah.
That's easy.
You rest your wrist in the folds of the great unclean one.
You
A
know-
Gene Stealer cultist.
Yo, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I was
Mm.
thinking Avatar of Cain. They seem to love to do that for models. So
Pretty much any model we featured on this show that has been sexualized in some way would work for this. Like a katana would be really good too.
obviously.
What are some other 40K themed computer accessories that there should there be? Like we have our Titty Mouse mat now. I have my very nice desk mat with all the second edition codex covers on there.
Uh-huh.
But what else should we have? Should we have like a servo skull webcam?
That would be cool.
Good one. Yeah, that's
I'm
what I
thinking bolter shell USB drive.
Oh yeah, thumb drive.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Maybe even a Saint's thumb bone as a thumb drive. That
Oh.
would be clever because for like two reasons, right?
Yeah. It's a thumb.
Right.
thumb
and a
drive.
thumb drive.
That
That's
works.
two things, John.
Yeah. Moving on, this guy here, as I was loading up our show the other day,
Oh.
I realized we've already done this guy's picture before, but that's okay.
Yeah.
He's adorable. And also, ever since, Mikhail, a Hammerfall bunker PC case, chef's case.
Beautiful.
Someone
Oh,
make a PC case out of like GW plastic. That would be
Ooh. A drop
amazing.
pod lava lamp.
Oh.
Doors open or closed?
Well, that's how you would control, like you could do both. So if you wanted it only to come out of one part of it, you could like close up, one side to make mood lighting.
Oh, very sexual. Very drop pod.
Just like Space Marines, just like Humpty Dreadnought here.
Tweedledum, the
Guy's
Ultramarine here. We've talked about this guy before. We've had him on before. But there's been a balanced data slate since we last talked about him, Danny. So what did the balanced data slate do for Humpty Dumpty here?
John, it did a lot for him. He's leaner, he's meaner, and he's a little bit better on the tabletop.
I'm not sure he's leaner, but yeah, okay.
He's leaner than he was because he costs less points. He dropped 5 points a model.
But sadly, after he dropped, they couldn't get him back up again.
You need industrial equipment for that, John.
What is a more ridiculous model from the actual Space Marine range?
Oh, that stupid missile pod.
I mean, you know what I want to say. Right?
Well, what do you want to say?
The Centurion.
The Centurion.
What's wrong with Centurion?
So if you could do it so you sealed up the back legs, so it wasn't a man riding a suit, and it was just a big suit.
It wasn't just like an armored power lifter that the Space Marine got into. Yeah.
That model is great. But as it is right now, where it looks like it's just something he stepped into the front of, like a wave machine at a retail store.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's pretty terrible.
It's like one of those aqua massage machines.
Dickie, what is the most ridiculous model in the Space Marine range?
Probably those stupid guys with the missile launchers that everyone has 90 million of, right? Like those guys
Desolation
are so they're the worst.
It's Desolation or nothing.
No, they're the worst.
I think they look cool.
Mine would be the Forge World fortification, where it's just a quarter of the table. Guys, back in the day, you could take a unit that was just a quarter of the table and deploy it. Truly.
Oh, how does it work with objectives? No one knows.
No one.
Really.
They
Honestly,
didn't clarify.
it's
You just
freaking mystery, dude.
they're just like move any terrain to make it fit. So if you were rich enough, you could just buy a quarter of the table and make your game plan to just constantly have the same table quarter. Oh,
John, could you buy 3 of them?
I don't know. Forge World was never very clear on the rules. That would be hilarious, though. If you pinned your opponent,
the table is mine. You can just have all the terrain.
Pin your opponent into just one corner, and you're like, the other 3 are mine. It says I can deploy them.
I paid for these.
Yeah. Oh, I hated that thing, but it was so cool. The Necron one was really awesome as well, where you could just plonk a monolith on top of it, like old monolith.
And it like slotted in perfect.
Yeah, I got to get me one of those because I have an old monolith now. I have no use for
cool. It also has like gun ports for like the Doomsday Arc guns.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
it's cool.
Make it work. Dickie, you were very excited about this one last week.
Oh, yes.
And I just know that you did all those Photoshops I gave you a week to do.
No, I didn't. But
that's why I didn't reach out to you about it there. But Dickie, what are we looking at?
This is a Cobra chicken right here. This is a Canadian goose. This thing is beautiful. This thing is what I need in any army. I don't know what army this guy's in, but I'm buying it.
It's also pretty radical because it's wearing a hat Fred Durst style. He has a backwards red hat.
I'm not quite sure about the red hat, to be honest.
Yeah, he's really into rap rock. So that's where that one goes. This isn't. They haven't announced what it is yet. This is part of a special miniature that's going to be only available at the Warhammer World in Nottingham as part of their store anniversary. If you are near there, send it on to Dickie because he needs it.
I need it.
It looks like Steve Buscemi in that meme. Like, how are you doing?
How do you do,
with the backwards red hat.
JC is asking if the picture of the goose is Val, which I think is just racist, but I also can't say no.
That's a bit
I can see where it comes from though, because he does like to wear that backwards hat.
Yeah, and also Dickie's seen him make that face when a stream's gone down.
Oh yeah, I've done that. He's done that face a lot.
So many times.
I feel fairly comfortable saying this is not a 40K model, but if it was a 40K model, What army would it fit in, and why?
Fruit. 100% Kroot army.
But get out of here! It
This
doesn't even look like a
This
fruit.
guy's. Have you ever battled a cobra chicken before, Danny?
Yeah.
This thing
Do you
will
think
take
Tau
you
Auxiliary-
down.
Thanks, Dickie. If your country would stop exporting them all over to the United States, the Canada goose problem in this country is horrible, and it's
They do
quite
what they
honestly Canada's problem, and they need to do something about it.
Who's gonna stop them, Danny? Who indeed?
One of our many millions of armed American citizens just
Dude, you
waiting
know, like
to shoot something.
you can kill one man can kill a lot of geese. I'm just saying.
You guys are allowed? We're not. You get a ginormous fine if you're to hurt or kill a Canadian goose.
Well,
Canada.
Dickie, taxation is theft. That's all I have to say about that one. And fines are
Dickie,
just
it's called poaching. Have you ever heard of it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Do it to eggs.
Probably not allowed.
Okay, so we've got Dickie thinking they're a new Tau auxiliary unit.
Yes.
Though, if you can get enough of them, what a great thing to replace shield drones with.
I do agree with that. That would
good.
make me a lot happier when I just killed a drone. You know, I'd be
Oh,
like,
it
"Oh,
could
at
be-
least I killed a freaking goose.
How amazing would that be? Oh my god,
That'd be pretty
please.
cool.
Oh, I need
Yeah,
to
be
log
like
on.
it's you have the low technology Tau who have like projectile weapons and also geese instead of drones.
He's
John,
just
I feel
taking
like this
shots.
is clearly like the new model for like Clan Escher pet, right? Like
Oh yeah,
Oh, go.
the silliest
Necromunda
goose.
goose,
Yeah.
that backwards hat.
This is what was. It's actually inside one of the ancestor cores for the squats
Oh, for Votan.
or for Votan. It's why the ancestor cores have been failing because there's
Just
been a
a goose.
family of angry
Yes.
geese evolving inside the core for
You have
millennia.
a real bad goose problem there.
The
The eggs
clans
really
have been
gum up the AI, you know.
the clans have been wondering why the ancestor core has been obsessed with getting ducks back. It's just like okay, quality.
Good time.
Next up, an actual quality conversion for the orc kind, which you don't see very often. This is, I guess, the WA team,
Oh,
the ARG team. I don't know what it is, but it's a beautiful conversion of an orc truck, made to look like the A Team van.
Right.
Kids, the A Team was a TV series from the 80s that Danny and I's parents made us watch.
wait.
it was also a
why
really
isn't Mr. T driving?
I don't know.
Hannibal's not driving.
It's not. He's got the cigar in his mouth.
I'm assuming this was made
Okay.
by someone in the UK where vehicles are right-hand drive.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's why Hannibal's sort of leaning out to shoot. Or
We need way more pictures of this.
yeah, it's such a great conversion.
It's
Really
really
captures
cool.
the spirit of everything.
Really good.
What are other famous vehicles that we could fit into the orc range?
General
Oh,
Lee.
that wouldn't be good.
The General Lee.
Generally,
I
again,
was just thinking, let's not say the general.
Oh, why not?
They keep
Why
putting the
not?
K in Canada. 3 of them.
I don't think they're that racist, really. Yeah.
The small Confederate flag on the vehicle might be a sign, but
It was
who
a
knows?
different time, John. It was a different time.
Wow.
Dickie rolls
God,
up to
there's
the
so many-
table and he
How
has to
about the
pull out.
invisible jet? Like as an
Oh.
Eldar plane.
Like the
Dude, that would be
Wonder
so
Woman
cool. You just have
invisible
2
jet.
orcs in a flight stand, like with their hands. It's fine.
Just-
It's purple.
With just wire
It's a DACA
outline.
jet.
With just wire outline of the plane.
Oh,
and
that
then
would be
that-
sick.
that would
Like a
be so-
dotted outline.
Yeah.
There's clear resin. You just print it in clear resin.
Oh,
Oh.
2 good ones in the chat. We've got anything Mad Max, of
Mhm.
course,
Of course.
and then Dick Dastardly's Mean
Machine.
Machine. That thing
Ah.
rules. From the what was that? Is that from the Amazing Race? Is that the name of that cartoon?
Wacky races.
Wacky Racers. That's right.
Is that the dog that just like goes?
Muttley.
That's Muttley. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Danny, we're just killing it with the references only
Dude.
people 40 and above are going to
Yeah.
recognize
I
today.
mean,
It's-
if you were born in 1980, you're gonna love this show.
I mean, like I would say any dinosaur from Dino Riders would be
Oh, yeah.
an awesome orc vehicle, right?
Or like the Power Ranger Zords.
Oh, dude, yeah. Could you imagine like looted Voltron?
Yeah, dude. And they're all just
Yeah.
squigs that turn into a robot squig. Mikhail's coming in with the Ghostbusters Ectomobile.
Oh, that's sick.
which is a good choice. I want to see all of these, by the way, by writing in our chat these options. You have to legally, and Danny will enforce this, make these conversions.
Well,
Very excited to see. The next one, I think, Danny, was a post by you, but I can't prove this. What happened was this person posted up on the Necrontyr Reddit group saying, what size is the low-cursed heavy destroyer base officially? And then he had a screenshot of the rules page and the GW order page saying it was a 60 millimeter base. And then a digital measuring tool showing that the base was actually 64 millimeters. And he was very upset about this.
Is it bothering you that the guy is clearly not measuring like the widest point of that circle? Because maybe it's an optical illusion, but it really doesn't look like he's actually measuring it correctly.
He's pretty close.
I thought they were on 80s.
The reason, they're on 60s, dude.
But
wait, I'm not going to confirm that until we play again. But I'm 90% sure if I know, I want to go on smaller bases. So they're absolutely on 40s. The reason this guy is upset is because he wants to make and sell bases. So he's annoyed that the sizing isn't consistent. But not for the first time in your life, Dickie, you've been asked this, but does 0.43 millimeters really make a difference?
It kind of does, I guess, right? The bases have always been like very off, if I remember correctly. Even like the squares back when I was a kid, and I would imagine the circles were off. So yeah.
Like, I don't think there's someone in the Games Workshop factory who's standing at the end of the line with a digital measuring device being like, reject the whole batch. They're 0.4 millimeter off.
These are precision tools. And not a stand to put your toys on. I mean, right?
Yeah. But I would say from the air of someone who's trying to make bases, is this a valid complaint that maybe they're not being honest about their base sizes?
I mean, look, first of all, what unit entry has base size on it? Did they add that to 40K? I do not remember that.
I think it's been added into the app. Well, keep talking while I look.
It might be on the app. I'm not sure. I thought maybe it was in the product description.
It is also there. I will say I'm a upper middle class player who pays for an app, so I'm.
But these
too.
Oh yeah. These like these bases come specifically with the model. So like, do you mean like a 3D print a base or like resin cast a base?
Yeah, he was going to design 3D printable bases, and he was mad that they weren't.
Base size for my soul grinder.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to tell this guy. Like, you should always measure stuff before you do things. I guess they seem bigger than 60s to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm not surprised that this is over. I'm surprised it's not bigger than 64 millimeters, which is a big feel.
I think anyway. It's a very silly complaint. Now it just makes me want to take a digital measuring device to all tournaments and measuring people's bases before games to have models removed for being illegal.
Don't be that guy. Oh God.
Yeah, for 40K, I think it matters a whole lot less. It matters some, but like this kind of shit is like pretty stupid.
Yeah, that's not the thing keeping you off the top tables. It's your inability to realize that people can own more than one shirt. That is.
Yeah,
it's callback.
Yep, that is true, John.
Deep.
Danny, you as one of this show's only top legal minds, I need your help for this next one here. This one was sent to me. This is I believe, German book. Where it has a small boy teasing his sister or maybe measuring her while playing with some cartoon orcs. So as an official lawyer, please draft a statement on behalf of Games Workshop towards this children's book.
No. But I think that GW definitely, this definitely feels like a direct ripoff of their stuff. I mean, it's almost like they traced the models, like they lined up a picture and traced it onto a page and then like made some small edits.
Yeah, they're having fun in there. They're laughing. One's getting crushed by a dice, and he's got his hand up in the air.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want you to use my copyrighted and trademarked items in your book to make money.
The best thing is if you just ask him nicely not to, and then when the author doesn't stop doing it, if you just ask him to leave, and then he can stay and make fun of you for the rest of the time, is the best way.
Another
The most
callback.
disturbing part about this picture here. Oh, I'm on callbacks tonight. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, okay.
This is an orc army this boy is playing. He's only got 1 dice. He's going to clock out before round 1 even finishes.
No,
He's gonna
there's
have to
two.
roll that so many
There's
times.
2. There's 1 giant dice and 1 smaller dice in the bottom left. If you look, not on
That's a
your
squig.
picture, on my picture.
Oh.
Here, here, let me see if I can. You talk
This is
amongst
squig.
yourselves. I'll figure this out.
He also has the hat of a Canadian goose. But Danny, what kind of player is the boy in the red hat?
Oh, you know, at this stage of his life, he's just really enthusiastic, John. I think he hasn't gone through gamer puberty to really discover the kind of player that he will become.
I'm sorry, did you just say gamer puberty?
Puberty?
Yeah, right. Like where you set on a play style or a way that you view the game. Like right now, this kid doesn't know what he likes because he's just a kid, John. He's just a stupid kid.
Oh,
And he doesn't know.
jeez.
He doesn't know what he likes. So
And the kid in this picture was Danny.
it's true. I still can't decide.
Moving on for our Judges Corner segment, though, we're going to come up with a name and a background in a bit for soon. Danny, this question came up in the competitive 40K/ITC discussion. This is more competitive 40K than ITC discussion in this post, but he says, cover question in my group chat right now. Cover or no cover? And no, I did not expand the post for more information. This is the kind of snap judgments that we need. Danny, cover or no cover?
Yeah, let's do this.
John, depending on which model is shooting which model, I mean, I assume that they're talking about the guy in the open shooting the guy in cover, which has like the guy next to the tape, that guy has cover. But like if the reverse is true, the guy out of cover doesn't have it because
he's out in
not
the open.
cover. See, part of the model's base is obscured from the other model, so thus he's got cover.
Impressive.
I don't have a gavel sound for your judgment, but I'll just have to settle for
Plus, if your opponent is going to be this nitpicky about this shit, like find a new opponent or like tell them they're being a jerk if you're playing them in a tournament. Take it from me, that always works.
Move on. I want to have a little bit of a discussion about something I got back into this week in a different color than I've done before, and something I'm very uncomfortable with, but painting in general. With this fantastic meme I found of the Optimus Prime, Optimus Base and Layer, and Optimus Shade Edge Highlight and Transfers. But I just want to have a little conversation with you guys around painting and the kind of that side of the hobby in general. And just kind of starting with kind of a base layer, what is the average time it takes you guys to paint a model?
Depends, really.
Great question. It really depends a lot on how often I painted that model. So like the first model in a batch that I do, like once I go through and kind of figure out like what my scheme is, like that guy takes a lot longer than any of the other next models because I'm trying to figure out what steps are going to work and like to get the result that I want. So that guy takes a while, but then the other ones I paint really fast. So I would say I probably don't spend more than an hour on a model, like on average.
Dickie, what's your average?
I'm currently, maybe my current project is a really bad example. So I'm doing a Custodes army for my my team, and basically I can get 90% of the model completed with 1 spray can, 1 airbrush, and 1 wash. So I don't know, like fast, like 5 minutes per model fast.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Falcon Hunter coming in, sending like my kitchen contractor 20 minutes for a single layer, 2 hours if you want a good job.
Yeah, that's definitely.
How many models?
1.
Yes.
Just 1. Just
Yeah,
1.
one.
Just 1.
But I agree with you, Danny, because I said I started painting a Knight of the Realm today, and I spent way too long on a horse. But
Yeah.
again, it's because it's colors I haven't painted a lot before. It's I
Yeah.
don't know which is going to go where, and kind of figuring out the base parts of that scheme.
Especially when you have a complicated color scheme like a Bretonian Knight, where it's like often quartered colors, or like there's layered colors. Like there might be like a white shield or a like white caparison. Is that what it's called? The thing that the horse blanket
Juice
that goes
box?
over 'em?
Yeah.
Yeah. Juice
Um,
box.
Yeah, thank you. Shoebox.
Not the juice box, the caparison.
Okay, perfect. Anyway, but yeah, so like those that can be fairly difficult, and I totally get where that can be time consuming.
Yeah.
Did you kind of settle on where you want to be with that guy?
Yeah, so I think so. So what I did is because the horse is like, tabard front, tabard back. And I
Yeah.
just have the front half one color, the back half another color. So that way I'm
Okay.
not working on
That's
like
easy.
a quarter scheme where like half, like, because it's a blue and white scheme I'm doing. So it's not like half blue, half white, half, because then I have to worry about like, okay, pattern wise, what goes where. And then I can bust it out a little more. And it also means that I think the fun things about Bretonians as well is when I get bored of doing the back half blue and the front half white, I can just switch it. And it
Yeah.
can be like the front half blue, and that still sort of goes in there.
So do you think so? Are you doing this like blue and white, like Scotland kind of stuff? Like, is that
It was a little bit of that, and it was
Okay.
also a little bit of that's the color scheme of the Bretonian Quennell house.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy that it works
So
like that. That's
there's a
cool.
Bretonian dukedom or whatever they're called, or area, where it's like one letter or two letters off of my actual last name. So it's
Hey,
like,
That's
heck
funny.
yeah, I'll just go with those guys.
that's awesome, dude.
And then I saw their
So-
color scheme was blue and white, and I'm like, I don't want to paint white, and I still don't, but we'll get better.
Do you think you're going to mix up the heraldry like within the unit, or do you think you're going to do like heraldry like where you do like each guy individually, or like mix up the blue like within the unit, or
I'm
you have
probably
a
gonna
lot of options?
I want to mix up the blue within the unit, but still batch paint. And like I
Yeah,
still do
sure.
like,
Okay.
the blue panel might rotate around and where it is or which part it is. The thing that really made it pop though, and this is a pro tip I heard from somewhere, is
Mhm.
horses are shiny. So
Yeah.
going in with Ard Coat, and doing like a really thin watered down layer of the gloss varnish over just the horse.
Where did you hear that horses are
Because
shiny?
they're greasy creatures.
Yeah, there was some subreddit, or maybe even I think it's a Peachy's painting group or something, where they were talking
Yeah.
about painting them, and like that's kind of a step that you can do with horses to make them look better.
Interesting.
Is that if you look at them, they all have a natural greasiness to them
Dude.
because they're untrustworthy.
Well,
Right. Well,
what
it's
is
because
with
they're
you guys and
slaves.
hating
They're
horses?
willing slaves.
Jesus Christ.
Speaking about slaves, no.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Do you
great.
guys have any painting rituals or things that you do to prepare, or things that you do at the end to kind of like get you in the mood, or to know that you're going to have a good session?
Couple pills. Good to go.
Um yeah, so first thing I do is I go rinse out my cup and I fill it with some nice clean water.
Nice.
And then I grab some paper towels.
Uh,
And once I have that stuff, then I know I've got all the things that I need to start painting, and I can go to my desk and I can start working.
there you go.
I have the old school GW tray, the one that has the leg curves in it.
Oh no,
Perfect
you
when it
don't have
sits in
that,
there.
really?
I have, yeah.
Oh my god.
And I look at it and I think of the paint colors I'm going to use, and I line up the triads of the three different kinds of each color.
Oh, okay.
I line that up in the tray, and then I move to my little painting spot and kind of go from there. But I have to have the colors lined up and in order, otherwise I get really annoyed.
Oh man. That
Like-
is dude, I'm
Yeah.
fucking chaos over here, John. Like
It
we're
turns
talking-
into
yeah,
I was
okay.
gonna say, it
Good.
turns into chaos, but at the start it isn't. The other thing I found recently that I will never not use again is for Christmas. For some reason I got one of those stupid massage guns, like the pneumatic like puncher. There's an attachment that you can put on that you can squeeze a paint pot into, and then when you turn it on, it shakes the paint pot.
That's pretty cool.
And that was something now. So making sure I have that in my spaces too. Speaking of spaces, do you guys have dedicated areas where you paint, or are you kind of all over the place?
Oh, I do. I have a little hobby center. I wanted to say what my process was. It's a lot more
Oh yeah, Dickie.
Oh
you
yeah,
have a
Dickie, I
ritual.
ignored you.
Let's
Yeah,
hear it,
go
dude.
on your pro.
Okay, so here's what I do. So at the end of a painting session, I usually drop everything like it's stinky and it's bad, and I just leave it and come back. and go to bed or watch TV or whatever. So I usually go downstairs, get disgusted at myself that I left my hobby space in such a disarray. I spend the first 2 hours of my hobby experience cleaning up said hobby space in order to set up for my next hobby adventure. So my hobbying takes way too long is basically what I'm saying. But once I get painting, I'm good to go.
I don't have a dedicated space. What I do have is lots of boxes and box
like-
lids.
Yeah. Okay.
So I put on the tray, and then like when I'm tidying up, I kind of throw everything in a box. So the paints I'm using, the models, so to make sure I have it all ready to go. The problem is I jump around a lot from project to project. So invariably, I end up with 3 or 4 different boxes full of paint, full of models.
Yeah.
And I end up buying duplicate paints because I'm like, shit, I'm out of this paint, but really know it's in box A, and I just haven't been back to that one yet. So that's the horror disorganizedness of my hobby area. Jay in chat, beautiful. He draws a warm bath. He sprinkles some rose petals.
Yeah, man, seriously. It
Dims
feels
the
like
lights,
sometimes.
lights some candles, and put on some Kenny G.
Kenny G.
Jay, you're gonna have shitty edge highlights with that lighting, sir. You got to have more lighting for your painting
Could have
area.
I
crisp
feel,
light.
I feel you so much, man. I feel you so much with that.
Do you paint characters first or units?
Great question.
That's a good question.
So I have a method to this because if I do it one way, a lot like I'll have a few models painted. If I do it another way, then I'll have all my models painted. So I like to space out my characters and my units. So I like to like paint like a unit and then like paint a guy, like a character, a cool model, and then paint a unit and then paint a cool guy. Unless I have, which is usually the case, I have something that I need to do for a tournament, in which case, like I'm just wholesale painting like whatever's in front of me. And I usually save characters for last because any extra time that I have to give to them, I'm going to try and do that.
Yeah. Dickie?
I usually do units first before characters. That's kind of my process.
For me, if it's a purple and gold color scheme, I'll do characters first because I've done that scheme for like 8 or 9 years. I feel fairly comfortable. My Bretonians, I've never painted blue. I've never had white as a wide scale army color. I will not be touching a single character until I've painted 100 other models.
Yeah.
Because I'm okay if the line troops look shitty, not okay if the characters do, because they are gorgeous. That Pegasus Lord was one of the most frustrating models I built, but gorgeous.
Super cool.
I'm pretty sure he's missing a forearm in the kit.
Yeah.
Because it wanted me to attach the hand up here.
Yeah.
So I did a little modification so I had it sticking out more. But yeah, it's a gorgeous kit. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to build because of his tiny crotch plate and the tiny statue in his head. Finally, before we move on here to something a little lighthearted, do you guys ever go back and redo old models? I always say I will and then never do.
Wow. I haven't really thought of that before, John. Wow. I don't think I do.
But do you say you will?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I got a good base coat on these guys. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I have done it before, but it's like because of another event, and I wanted to make sure my guys were like conforming to the rest of my army.
Yeah.
So like I've like speed painted like 40 warriors before. Necron warriors, and then like gone back afterwards and like done the rest of the detail on them before another tournament, just so I could try and like get everything up to the same standard.
I'm very much like Falcon Hunter in chat, or like he said, never, it's painted already. I'm very much like Sid from Toy Story. We're like, I don't want to paint you anymore, and just like drop it down into the box. And yeah, Falcon Hunter, I would rather buy a copy of the model and paint it again. I have 2 Imperial Knights that I don't like the color scheme of that are just sitting there, and I've bought several other Imperial Knights since. But yeah, let's move on to something lighthearted that you sent our friend Josh here. I'm gonna, Danny, what are we looking at?
So we're looking at pairs of booty shorts with a phrase on the back and the Primarchs that they are tied to.
Mm-hmm. So we have like Dorn, who has the booty shorts that say this place is not a place of honor. Very against the back door. He wants it all sieging up the front. Vulcan and Angron just saying, God won't let me die.
The enemy
Danny,
of the state one's good.
I'm going to ask, and then
God.
Dickie will come to you afterwards here. But Danny, what your favorite Necron character? What's on his booty shorts?
Oh my God. Yeah, it's got to be Trays in the Infinite with don't don't call me before 10 a.m.
That does seem a very Tristan thing to say.
Yeah.
Dickie.
Yeah.
World leaders are coming. What's on Karn's booty shorts?
Yeah, actually, you knew exactly who I was going to pick. So I think it would be something like "Don't bother me before my first coffee" or something like that. You know, those.
That's a very aggressive thing to have on a butt.
Yeah,
But
it
you got to
is
go
Karn.
for it. So to kind of segue from this, Games Workshop published this week a cool article about which Dark Angel should lead your list and which character should lead your army. And they made some really cool assets like this. Like this is Azrael, that's Supreme Grandmaster of the Dark Angels. His leadership, undisputed. His speed, swift. Combat, consummate. His secrecy, redacted.
That's basically perfect, John. I don't know if you know anything about redaction, but that's like, and secrecy, John, that's like really good.
But this top trump card of a file about Azrael is missing one thing, guys. What's on Azrael's booty shorts?
I want to say, don't call me before 10 a.m. But oh man. Probably like
Daddy
Unforgiven, but not Unbroken.
Yeah,
Like some kind of live, laugh, love thing, like that he would have.
Perfect.
On his
Yeah,
booty
live, laugh,
shorts.
love, or live,
Yeah.
laugh, redacted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on here, we have Lionel Johnson. He's the Primarch of the Dark Angels. His leadership, absolute. His speed, Quicksilver. Someone used their thesaurus this week, Games Workshop. And his combat, a pickle? Is it a pickle?
A pickle.
A pickle. I can't read that word. So it's his combat, pickly. His secrecy, don't even think about it.
Yeah.
It's too late. But what is 40k Azrael got on his booty shorts?
Mind the gap.
I was gonna say Daddy's Home.
Oh.
The mind the gap goes on the front because Marines don't have genitalia.
True. My bad.
And then our final
not a
one
Marine,
here,
John.
before we move on to some eBays, is Lazarus, Master of the Fifth Company. His leadership, revered. His speed, rapid. And his combat, overwhelming, which makes me think he's not good in combat.
Underwhelming.
And he just gets overwhelmed by the situation.
It's too much all at once. He has really bad anxiety, John. Like he's just.
There's too many people around. It's just it's bad times. But what's so overwhelmed? I'm sorry.
He's so overwhelmed.
Guys, there's so many people. What's on his booty shorts?
I mean, you said it a bunch of times.
I know.
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
Oh,
sad, really.
Perfect. We're gonna skip past the other stuff. The Necron stuff we'll do some week, and let's go straight into a game show segment called the eBay Prices Redacted. I gotta start it because it feels wrong with how hard it cuts off. But greetings, bargain lovers of YouTube. Get ready to test your powers of fiscal evaluation on The Price is Redacted. Today we are challenging the breadth of your guys' secondhand miniature knowledge.
Yep.
Today's miniature accurately assess the secret value of the sold items I found searching for Games Day in honor of me not having a better search term this week.
Yeah.
Our first contestant hails from Moscow, Idaho. He is a law student in his final year. He might be able to pass the bar, but can he pass this quiz? It's Danny McDevitt.
And his opponent from the forgotten frozen wasteland of Toronto, Canada, isolated from the nuclear winter of the North. He has no one left but his three-legged dog for company. He must keep himself safe from the roving packs of mutated, reanimated corpses that did not read the fine print about socialized medicine. With only his father, Smith and Western, for protection, the only item he could smuggle past Canada's extreme military regime, he's down to his last 2 rounds and a homemade explosive device. But will he guess the right price? His tech priest, Dickie. Well, guys.
Jesus.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, that was deep. Wow.
Dude, the Dickie lore is like wild.
Yeah.
Well, it was the
it's
Val-
Canada, right? You know it's
Yeah.
Canada. Okay. All right. Just
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was the
Frozen
Val lore, but now it's
Wasteland,
just
I think you
generic
said that.
Canadian lore that expands by a sentence every week until the point where we're going to hit a point. It's half the show.
Yeah.
This is Canadian lore.
I have a question, Dickie. Is your three-legged dog a bulldog?
No,
Yeah,
I
right?
definitely do not have a 3-legged dog, but it is a bulldog. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So
his three-legged dog is actually a Chihuahua.
oh,
It's like
Interesting.
it works in the nuclear wasteland of the North. It works like a canary in a coal mine, where
Okay.
it yips when danger is near, or when friends are near, or when anything is
Or
near.
when it's
Or
hungry, or when it has
when
to
the
go to the
wind blows,
bathroom,
or
or when...
when there's air.
Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, these are all miniatures that were Games Day exclusives. Games Day, kids, if you didn't know the A Team and you didn't know the other references we made today, I
You
forgot
okay?
them.
Did your
Any of them?
brain stop? Do you need
My
to
brain stopped for a second here. Like the Dickie lore it just took over so much of my brain. Games
Powerful.
Day was the old Warhammer event where a bunch of people went to a large stadium in the UK, or I think they had them in the US too. And it was the only place you could get certain miniatures as Games Day exclusives. And there were some doozies in there. Starting, of course, with this guy here. It is the 2011 Chaos Dwarf Fantasy Age of Sigmar New. This is a beautiful guy. Danny, you're looking
gorgeous.
longingly at him there.
I would really like this model. He's really cool.
He's really pretty.
Super cool. He's on the wrong base. Hopefully that
Right. I
doesn't.
mean, he's got to be on a square base.
Well, it looks like the package they had a...
Yeah. So all of these pictures, they're all in packaging, and so I went out and found the pretty pictures of what they
Oh,
actually
look
look
at
like
you.
because they're fantastic miniatures. Usually not on Malifaux bases. Usually.
Usually.
Oh yeah, it is beveled. I didn't even see that.
Yeah. So starting with last week's winner, who was, of course, was it Dickie? He knew more about ladies' shoes.
Yeah, Dickie knew
Yeah.
all about ladies' shoes.
Great. Okay.
Dickie, how much did someone pay for this Chaos Dwarf?
$150.
All right, $150. And Danny, how much did someone pay for this Chaos Dwarf?
$75.
Ooh.
Oh, you were pretty close. It was
Oh,
82.41
good
as I pull my
job.
earpiece out, so I can't actually hear your guys' reaction. There we go.
Good job,
So
Danny.
Danny, you got that there. Pretty close to that there. It's actually a pretty good price for him. He is fantastic, and my earpiece
Yeah.
keeps on falling out.
Fucking
But
on a good guess.
yeah,
That's a
good
really good
guess.
guess.
Moving on now. From the highest highs to the lowest low, we have Games Day Space Marine veteran Sergeant Aurelius, who's just so happy to be here. Look at that guy. He's like, yeah.
I like his chainmail skirt
Yep.
for some reason.
And he has a Crux Terminatus, but he doesn't let it touch his body because it's dangling very low. The older you get, the Crux Terminatus does droop.
Yeah,
It starts
that
drooping.
cord stretches and you lose some elasticity. And
Yeah. And
Just
this
swinging
this
there.
miniature reminded me that you would buy single miniatures and blisters and get 4 bases with them.
that's right. That's
There
how we
was-
ended up with so many bases, John.
So many bases. To
Dude,
really
okay,
give
do you
you,
like he has a Stormbolter though? That's weird. Like he has
yeah,
a Stormbolter and a Power Fist. This was like the ultimate sergeant in like early editions.
he's just showing how strong he is that he can
Right.
hold up 2 bulky items like that.
It's not just him cheering for his friends while they
No.
get out of the Rhino. He's showing them how powerful he is too. This is
Yeah.
an
Oh,
alpha
yeah.
mode, John.
Or maybe he's jerking off a dreadnought.
Oh,
Someone
wow.
make that conversion.
I don't know if we needed that, but sure. Yeah.
Wow, maybe.
You got that power fist up there. You
I don't know
feel
if
you
it
need a
is.
power fist.
I don't know if maybe's required there. You know.
Dude, he's got to watch that kung fu grip, man.
feel like Danny's just delaying here in order to search the.
Oh, am I supposed to guess?
No,
Yeah,
Dickie, you actually go first because you won the last round.
No, I'd won.
No,
the
he
last
won
round.
the last round.
Oh, then I'm going to correct my very high-tech note that I have here.
Damn it! Why did I say anything?
Danny, how much was Veteran Sergeant Aurelius?
$45.
$45.
Oh, that's a good guess, dude.
That was a good guess. But where's Dickie going?
Dickie's going with $35.
$35 from Dickie.
Whoa.
It was $10.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's cheap.
I'm
And-
shocked.
From the range I was looking at, he's a common. He's a common. He's not rare, and he's
Oh, yeah.
usually around $10 to $20.
Really?
Interesting.
So if you like what you're looking at, apparently
don't.
you're in the minority.
You are.
Next up, we have this beautiful boy. It is the Games Workshop Woof Skaven Metal Skaven Warlord. Hashtag 18 2011 Games Day Edition.
That guy's a warlord. Okay, yeah, sure. What a pretty model, though. I tell you.
He's a cool
Oh, yeah.
model.
Yeah.
So all of these, apart from Aurelius, maybe not quite so much, but all of these are really cool models, and that was to
Yeah.
me the appeal of Games Day. Was it was the only place you could get these like amazing miniatures was this one day, and I think it's slightly ruined now because of like you can get them all of our events this year.
Sure.
But
It definitely made him a lot rarer.
yeah, Dickie,
Yeah.
how much did someone spend for the Skaven Metal Skaven Warlord hashtag 18, which means he's legal?
$69.
Nice.
Good guess, man.
Danny, did you want to counter that with 420?
Ooh.
No, John, I have to play this strategically. I'm not winning. I can't just throw my thing away as a joke bid, John. John, it's going to be $70 for me.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Beautiful.
Be under.
Yeah, it was
Oh, dang it.
$51. But there were 9 bids on it, so it was a heated exchange. It could have got as high as 70, but no one did that. Adam Camilleri, what the fuck, the show is still running? Yeah,
Barely.
Danny and Dickie lied to you. You're not their only show. You're like the side show, or we are. It doesn't matter. Moving
He is
on.
the side piece, John. This is my number one squeeze.
You tell that to
No,
all
that-
your
I have
podcasts.
this model. I have.
No, I
this guy.
don't.
This is, by the way, a beautiful orc. I want to
have
say Brian Nelson sculpt.
Yeah.
A
Pretty.
Warhammer. It's a Games Day Black Orc from 2000. I have this somewhere.
I have this painted and I think at Val's house, actually.
Yes.
Beautiful. Oh, I guess I have to guess now on the price.
Yeah,
huh?
you have to.
Yeah,
you
you
have to.
won.
This is my
won.
turn that I
Joke
have to put the
bid.
money in. Okay.
Damn it.
While you're thinking here, real quick,
Yeah.
downvoting people said "dang harsh" towards Camilleri's mean comments towards us, and Adam's like,
Wow.
they know I jest and I love them, and no, we don't, and we take everything quite to heart.
You can't see, but I'm crying right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh,
I said the other day to Adam, and
Yeah.
sorry to derail you here,
Yeah, it's
Dickie,
okay.
but
Give me
I
more
said
time.
to him, you know, Adam, you might be the only non-poisonous animal in Australia. And I take it back.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's poisonous just
Wow.
like all the rest of them.
Well, as fun as these side chats are, to make Mr. Camilleri feel at home, gentlemen, we're not here to fuck spiders. Let's
That's
have
true.
a guess.
Okay. I'm gonna go $65.
$65,
$45, John.
$45. How about $84?
Oh, get out of here, Danny. Get out of here.
Damn it.
Danny, you can't win, but you can return a little bit of credibility
Thank you.
with one of the greatest miniatures ever released as a Games Day
All right,
exclusive.
let's see it.
This guy here, it is
Oh,
Archeon on
yeah.
foot.
Foot Archeon. Dude, what
my man.
a Chad.
What a bro.
Absolute.
Well,
He's a
you
Chad.
won,
the
Dickie,
Dickie.
go ahead. Guess.
How much is he?
Oh, sorry. I would imagine this guy is rather rare. And I would imagine he's probably competitive because people want to use him in their fantasy games, maybe.
Didn't Fantasy originally die because people didn't buy the models, though?
Well, they bought the Games Day models.
Okay. Touche. Touche.
I'm gonna go $60. I feel it's a little bit low though. 60.
Danny.
I'm going with
All right. Hail Mary, John.
Yeah,
Hail
I'm going
Mary.
for it. It's $42, John. Got to do it.
Wow.
$56.
Oh baby, crushed him. Just beat him
Meaning,
into submission.
Destroyed by Dickie.
Dickie destroyed you.
you got that BDE, Big Dickie
I know.
Endgame.
Yeah.
the best Avengers movie. Oh, beautiful. Guys, we made it. We did it. We did the thing. This is another week where the running joke is I have 4 really cool Necron meme slides at the very end of the slideshow. And every week I'm like, Danny, next week we'll get to those. And we never do. Maybe that'll be one of our secret episodes, is we'll just go through the slides I never got to.
The Necron lore. We could call it Trazian's Vault.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
okay. Because that's something we're going to do here in a couple months is we're going to have some non-stream stuff probably, or non-regular stuff where we're just kind of going through, because I have literally hundreds of slides that I haven't used. I had started a new slideshow because the existing one I was using got up to about 140 slides because I keep moving stuff on.
Wow.
Beautiful. Guys,
Amazing.
plug your stuff.
Well, you can catch me and Dickie on the that Old World Charm, the podcast that I'm on. We record every week. We have weekly episodes. We're stabilizing and figuring out our schedule for releases, but we'll have a firm schedule very soon. And we're looking forward to that and making sure that we get episodes out on a regular basis. It's kind of like Down Under or Art of War Down Under, where we have the taster on the top, and then if you want the sweet meat, you got to go into our Patreon, and we'll have another episode there. So
Adam and Chad saying, "Man, killing Danny representing us so well." I just want to point out this just makes it even for when he advertised himself as being from Grim After Dark and then said the wrong night. So balances. Balances.
love it.
Awesome. Yeah. And then also check out Back When He's Healthy, Val and Rob on Squarebased, which is the only other fantasy podcast you guys need, is that Old World Charmed. And if you have time, Squarebased. No.
I will say that they actually did record this morning. I know he's not here now, but Val did record with Rob this morning.
Well, I think that's because he has to record very early to accommodate for Rob, and very late to accommodate for me.
Yeah.
So sometimes
there's a pretty big time difference between Alaska and England. So and Val's somewhere in the middle. So downvoting people, Val is healthy enough for Rob.
Yeah, he's healthy enough for Rob, but he's not healthy enough for us.
That's not true. This morning he was cosplaying as a commoner, like a little Bretonian man-at-arms. So he could be on that, but there's not a 40K equivalent. So
or a beast man, either one.
Val told us that he was growing hooves. So I don't know what's going on with him, but I mean, it's pretty bad.
Go with the hooves. Yeah, let's call back. See, now we're going into callbacks for pre-show talk that don't even make sense for anyone. That's when you know it's time to go. So thank you everyone for joining us here on Grim After Dark. You can find all of our socials and way to support us at grimafterdark.com. We'll be back next Tuesday live at 10 p.m. Eastern-ish. And if you enjoyed yourself, check out our back catalog on YouTube. From everyone here at Grim After Dark, we'll see you next Tuesday.
It's time to step into the grim darkness with nerds gather talking Warhammer madness. Grim After Dark, the podcast with the hosts John, Danny, and Val, but they're not the most. Claiming to be experts, but it's all a facade. Talking about battles and dice rolls, they're all odd. Trying to sound cool with their Warhammer talk, but I'm here to expose. It's all just squawk. Nerds, everywhere I see talking Warhammer this, like it's a decree. But let me tell you, homie, it is all just a game. In the real world, homie, we are not the same. So put down the dice, step out of the dark. It's time to live life, nerd, make your own mark. Grim After Dark, the nerds playground. Talking Warhammer this, acting all profound. But when I listen, it's all just a bunch of noise. I love roasting nerds and their stupid ass toys. Stupid ass toys, I wanna grab them. put my hands around the neck. Squeeze, squeeze, Warhammer squeeze, until they can't breathe or breathe again. Tell a friend, I'm out here roasting nerds again.